Welcome to another video as part of the Pavilion video series. The Pavilion HyperParallel File System, PHFS, External File Tiering. I am Costa Hasapopoulos, the Chief Field Technology Officer and Worldwide Vice President of Business Development. I'm going to share in this video how a new feature in our PHFS file system called file tiering can allow us to take advantage of a very lower cost medium, whether that is S3 in the cloud, S3 on-prem, NFS on-prem, or any NFS target. So the flexibility to have the power of a tiered solution, high performance NVMe-over-Fabric and NVMe drives, leveraging spinning disk as a tier. So this tiered solution leverages a key feature that's part of our parallel file system, PHFS, that enable us to tier files to any NFS target. And by the end of Q3 of this year, 2022, we'll be tiered to any S3 target. Whether that's Amazon or whether that's an old Isilon system running NFS, we don't care. It's any NFS target, any S3 target. And again, this is leveraging a native tiering feature functionality in PHFS, which I'll describe in a future slide. But what does this do to the dollar per terabyte ratio in a solution? If you assume an all NVMe flash solution is around $750 a terabyte, maybe more, depending on the capacity and the configuration, spinning disk solutions are down in the $45 a terabyte. So there's no all flash solution will be able to compete with a tiered solution price profile. Let's look at that profile on the right. If you're all flash, I picked 4 petabytes, could be 2 petabytes, could be 20 petabytes. But if you're all flash, it's about $750 a terabyte. But if you can mix that to a 50-50, 50% flash, 50% spinning, that puts your price profile down to $397 a terabyte. In the real reality, when people deploy these large systems this way, the ratios will be more like a 20 or 30% flash and the rest spinning. So let's look at the 25% flash profile. That takes your dollar terabyte down to 221. So if you're out competing in the market with a competitor that does all flash, even air quotes cheap all flash, they're not going to get down to that price point. So a very cost-effective, unique solution that can leverage a native feature as part of PHFS. So how does this whole system work? It's this PHFS plus tiering is a very scalable solution. We can enable a single namespace for both a performance tier and a capacity tier. So we have a global namespace in the gray box. And then that purple tier is Pavilion, an all NVMe flash tier. And the Pavilion HyperParallel file system can tier today to anything NFS. And by the end of Q3 of this year, we can tier to anything S3. So the gray bucket below, I'm picking that there's a Seagate very cost-effective spinning 4U chassis disk, that a solution can be built that could be an NFS gateway or an S3 gateway by putting some software and servers on top of that. Very cost-effective tier. And for all of intents and performance purposes, the customer is accessing the data through Pavilion. So this tier over here could actually be any NFS target. It doesn't have to be this Seagate thing. Any S3 target, on-prem or off-prem. Now keep in mind, that gray area below, Pavilion does not sell that part. We do not support that part. That's where we leverage partners. Our box has the ability to tier to anything NFS or S3. So if an overall solution needs to be put in place for a customer to maybe use existing systems that they have today, or a net new system, that's the opportunity to partner with a partner, like Penguin as an example, who has the ability to build this whole solution and support the solution. So the scalable solution is actually pretty unique because it has a single namespace for both performance and capacity. And so what's very unique is we can have a tier for very high performance and the files can remain on that tier. But based upon a policy, that file can be tiered to more of a value capacity tier, but the metadata is still in PHFS's file system. That's why that file is a little bit grayed out right there. So the user will go back and access that file. and they still think it's in the same place they left it for in the high performance Pavilion tier. And then based on a policy, that file can be tiered back up into the high performance tier. It's a very simple solution to be able to tier based on a policy. Now that solution is also very scalable. As I mentioned, we can scale the performance tier independent of the capacity tier. Now you'll see these solutions, to do this, you're not selling this for a 100 terabyte solution. These solutions have to be on the road to 2, 3, 4, and 5 petabytes. Because our Pavilion box, you see the characteristics up there, you know that, up to 2 petabytes raw. Well, that Seagate box starts with 1.5 petabytes usable capacity. Both of those in 4 rack units. So it has to be a scalable solution. But we can have a single namespace about both tiers. So you may have a solution that starts a little smaller and maybe not even a full Pavilion box. That's okay. But as you can grow inside our Pavilion box, or we may need more capacity outside the Pavilion box, you can add more capacity tier. You need some more performance tier. You can see how you can scale both of these independent of each other. So a very unique and scalable solution, and very flexible. Remember, keep saying this, Pavilion does not sell or support this value capacity tier. We need to work with a partner to build a solution that can be sold to the customer. Because it's about services and the ability to sell software and hardware that Pavilion doesn't sell. So I mentioned this feature of tiering to anything NFS or S3 is available today. The overall packaging of a bundling of a solution and working with partners to have collateral and all those things is actually under development. But this is something we should start to think about, start positioning now, as a lot of these features and functionality will be coming out over the next couple months. So the first thing is look at sales positioning. We need to start planting seeds with your customers and partners now. For POCs and functionality testing today, it would be NFS only. Keep in mind, most customers most likely will want to leverage the S3 capability. But the functionality will work the same for NFS. We could start with NFS from a POC perspective and move on when S3 is there. We're going to be doing some more technology testing and documentation reviewing and all sorts of things and performance characteristics as part of our solutions testing criteria. And Penguin is very interested in doing this, and we'll begin doing this testing with them as well. We'll be working with marketing to get solution briefs and all the other tools and things available. But again, we're trying to get early adopters here and early starting here. Now, where does this fit capacity-wise or size-wise? You should really only look to people that are going to be doing 2+ petabytes of capacity for a dedicated system. Remember that Seagate system is 1.5 petabytes itself. Now, to be fair, smaller capacities could be for maybe somebody wanting to do a single zone of PHFS and they have some other spinning tier. And they may actually have their own tier of capacity themselves. Or people want to do a smaller system and they're doing other things, block storage on other parts of the array, maybe running SQL Server or VMware or something like that. So does this tiering solution have to be Seagate? Absolutely not. It could be any spinning disk that can support NFS or S3. Seagate's a great partner, and that solution is very cost-effective and unique, but it could be anything. These systems could be any implementation that is on-prem or tiering to the cloud. They can also be leveraging anything that they have today. They may have older Isilon or NetApp or an older filer that they want to use. This should be sold up front with a partner, aka Penguin, or other partners as we get out in the marketplace who are people that are interested in this and can engage in the overall solution sale and support the other components required to sell this solution. Thank you for watching this video as part of the Pavilion video series. If you want to learn more about this topic or others, check out our other videos at www.pavilion.io. You can also reach out to us via email at info@pavilion.io, or you can always call us on the phone. We'd love to talk to you about how Pavilion can help you solve some of your most challenging storage-related problems and help you deliver incredible business outcomes to your customers. Thank you.